Lisa again with Elite Leadership and Wellness Solutions. This is going to be a series of videos on addiction and trauma. And today, again, we have the manager who's just going to ask me some questions about this topic.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. And as Lisa said, this is going to be a series on, I guess, addiction and trauma. So let's say for the first video, I want to ask Lisa this question. I said, Lisa, now, why is it that so many people, it seems, end up on drugs or alcohol after childhood trauma? Why is that?
So, when people go through trauma in childhood, they often don't feel safe, don't feel secure. Their nervous system is often ramped up. And so they go to substances such as drugs or alcohol to calm down their nervous system, to regulate themselves, to also numb the pain. So in essence, the drug is helping regulate the nervous system and to feel safe. And something that they have, since they're taking the drug, they have control over that. They didn't have control when they went through trauma.
Okay, so let's say I'm 7 years old and I hear mommy yell at daddy saying, pick up your underwear, you're a pig. So what does that do to me as a 7 year old?
Even I just had a response when he said that. What it does is you don't feel safe, especially having, say, like the mother is supposed to be the nurturer, the maternal one, and say talking down to the father, disrespecting the father, and you don't feel safe, and the father also doesn't make you feel safe. So you don't feel safe and secure. And so as a child, if you don't have some adult and mentor to do that, it actually, studies show it impacts your brain development. In fact, and it shows the trauma sets in, and that's why as people get older, they're using substances to either numb that or help their nervous system and feel calmer.
So can we say, for example, okay, I'm this 7 year old and I just heard mommy tell dad, you're less than a man. You cannot even keep a job. What's wrong with you? Would I be at the child? Can you say, would I think to myself, wow, maybe mom's going to yell at me for not getting an A in school. And then I would have trouble, like, sleeping or the shakes or something like that. Would you think?
Yeah, for sure. Because it doesn't matter who's being, even if they're not yelling at the kid, it's that sense of conflict. You're not safe in that situation. And so it goes into your school, you feel stress, you feel anxiety, your kid's crying a lot, wetting their bed. And it has lasting effects. And when children get older, maybe they don't feel good, they're triggered, they don't feel good enough, and it comes up when they're adults. Even though it happened as a child, it's still playing like a record player in the background.
Okay, so not just that one incident. Then, I guess we can say if they see, well, if I'm 7 and I see a repeated pattern of mommy yelling at daddy and you're less than a man, you don't clean up after yourself, you don't brush your teeth. Why did I even bother marrying you? If I see that repeatedly, I guess imagine what that's worse, eh?
Well, yeah, and also the child normalizes that. They're like, oh, okay, this is normal life. When they see that it's not normal, like see with their friends, like, oh, like, because when you grow up in that environment, it's just human behavior. A child will normalize it, but obviously it's not, and they do things to adapt. Hence, often using drugs, but not always. We'll go through that in other videos, but
Okay,
that's often what happens.
so for example, I'm the child at 7, and I see that from 7 to, let's say, 14. I'm likely what going to start hanging out with friends who, let's say, um, are facing similar things at home, or maybe they start doing like powder, or things like that, and I decide to engage in behavior as, can we say, what, as a means to fit in with my peers, because I feel safer with the peers, even though they're doing powder and, let's say, carrying pistols, but I feel safer with them than I do at home. How can we tie something like that in? Like,
Yeah, it's not. It's more than just like, all teens want to go along with the crowd. Basically, with those peers is your support system, and so
oh,
you're
okay.
going along with it, and you want to use those substances because it gives you control. It helps you feel safe and calm, and be out of your reality. Mm.
So I guess going forward, now I'm, let's say, 31 years old, and I've seen all that trauma, and now I'm at work, and I see the boss upset and yelling. What's that going to do to me, or what could that do to me? Would you say?
Everyone's different in trauma. Some people they freeze, or some people they react aggressively and violently. It depends, but they're all trauma responses that people go through.
Oh, so like in law enforcement, for example, we go to arrest someone for stealing a car, and I'm yelling at him to get on the ground, and let me see your hands. He's hearing me yell, And can we say he's triggered from when he was 7 years old, when mommy's yelling at dad about not having a job? So he hears my voice, and I guess that could tie into PTSD. Could we say?
Yeah. So they group in conflict, so they deal with any conflict. It could trigger them, like I said before, either somebody may start crying or they may trigger to get angry or aggressive. It just brings that reaction from the past out, even though the present moment has nothing to do with each other. It just brings it out again.
So like okay, so long. Um, I'll back up. I'm 15 years old now. We're in Walmart. We decide to shoplift some things, and they catch us, and I'm being detained by security, and I'm going to go off because the guard is upset, yelling at me, and I might be a bit more inclined to maybe act up aggressively against the officer because of childhood trauma. Would that be close?
Yeah, because the security may be saying, why'd you do that? And anyway, it's going to trigger the person to feel like, wow, I'm worthless, just like I was, how I grew up as a child. And so you feel worthless, you feel stupid, and it just brings it out, that cycle all over again.
So that explains why, like on YouTube, when you see these videos, these people in stores shoplift and get caught by security, and they just go off. They're very aggressive. So it must be something triggering them, obviously.
Yeah, they're being triggered, and again, they don't feel safe. Again, obviously the police don't know that, but that's what it feels like to them. The person doing it, they're reliving the trauma again. They're feeling, I'm not good enough again, and I'm a bad person. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I just had a mosquito
Oh.
nip, bite
Yeah.
me. So I guess going fast forward, someone's in the workplace or someone's in a long-term relationship. If they have these issues from the past, how can they, resolve this?
I think education, because the partner may not understand, like, the person, a lot of people avoid trauma, or, avoid conflict, or there could be any disagreements. They're like, why is the person doing that? That's why. Or they get triggered if you say something, they start crying. It's like, doesn't mean the person's weak, it's reinforcing the trauma and their body's releasing it. But there's ways to, you get help, there's counseling, there's different techniques to calm yourself down, to regulate yourself.
So I guess a common understanding can be that you can help people get over this trauma. You have various methods. Um, can we ask you, like, just give us like one or two of your basic methods that might help people, that are going through this situation?
Yeah, actually, one I was using today because I got frustrated with
Oh, okay.
a chatbot at the bank they use now because it's hard to get through. So a quick one is I use this breathing. So you breathe in for 4 seconds, breathe out for 6. So I can just do it. Breathe in and breathe out. It gives your body a chance. Okay, calm down. You want to go in that rest, digest mode. You want to slow down your heart rate, and it's a quick thing you can do anytime, anywhere.
Oh, okay. Well, I think this is like a good start for the. I forget if it's an 8 or 10 part series.
We'll
So
see how it goes. But yeah, this is video 1 of a series that's really important. It affects millions of people and families. So I'm hoping this brings a lot of education to everyone and support. And thanks for watching. If you have any comments below, let me know. If you'd experienced this in your life or if your family, give us a like. All right, thank you.